Suprabhatam, Suswagatam. Karma Yoga. Ultimately, whatever practices we do, it has to be brought into action. Asana, pranayama, mudras, panthas, kriyas, meditation, everything that we do has to manifest in the form of action. So Krishna Bhagavan gives us the secret as to how we can convert every action we do into a yoga. What is secret? You have heard. You can see in the schematic. First you have to recognize how we do the action. Tamasic, Rajasic and Sattvic action. Convert everything into Sattvic action. More and more of Sattvic action. Rajas has to be controlled, Tamas has to be shattered, and Sattva has to be developed. So, Vivekananda Kendra, in Kanyakumari, we started this journey to bring this into action. How to make yoga a socially relevant science. That's the objective of Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhana Samsthan or Vyasa. And which is the most important area that we have to take up to bring yoga? Education. So Vivekananda said, education has to be properly understood. Now, unfortunately, education has just become a bread earning education. It has become a business. So Swamiji said, this has to be changed. So he defined what is education. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man, he said. We all have tremendous power, knowledge, freedom, bliss inside. That's called divinity. You have to bring it to action, bring it to our life. That should be the goal of education. So, how to bring it? There are two dimensions. And the Upanishad tell us they are the Aparavidya and the Paravidya. Aparavidya is the bread earning education, essentially. Intellectual understanding. And what all we do in the modern education system, essentially is this bread earning education, as Swami Vivekananda said. So you have to bring in this man-making education. How to do that? And where do we start? So way back in 1975-76, we said we are going to start in the most difficult areas, where people have been in the lowest step of evolution, almost like animals. In India, these are the regions in the northeast. They were called at that time as Nepha. Then it's called Arunachal Pradesh. It's all hilly areas. And there were a lot of different sects everywhere. They did not have a common language. Every few miles you have got a new language. Hundreds of dialects. How to bring education to them? There was a Lieutenant Colonel K.A. Raja. He said, we have to develop this. How to develop? Through education. So, the schools had to be started. They built up small school in different places and they wanted teachers. So they called all over India, we want teachers. Thousands of people applied because there was extra remuneration, salaries that were offered. And when these thousands of people came, they were all called for interview. Come on. And when they came to know it's a very difficult area, then most of these people dropped. Hardly about 70 people came for the interview. And they said, where we have to go? In the Arunachal Pradesh. How do we go? There is no transport, You have to walk several kilometers to reach there. Then we cannot go. Then they asked, do you have a radio? Do you have TV? No, not available. Then are there restaurants? Nothing is available. So only 4 or 5 people joined. And some of these people were posted there. When they went, there was nothing except a small hutment, for the school. Where are the students? You have to go there and get the students from there. And what is the type of students? What is the type of community there? Very emotional people. And in no time they become very angry, very upset. And they start fighting each other. Every few days there used to be war between two things. And they used to have some weapons. They will come and hit each other and kill a few people. Then the war will end. Afterwards what they do? They make a nice meal out of them. Cannibals. Such was the condition. And how can you bring those students to the schools? This was the big challenge. Ultimately, whole year one person was left. And that fellow became mad. 4 years, nobody was going there and nothing was happening. So, K.A. Raja, who was commissioner, he came and told Vivekananda Eknathji Ranade, who was the head of the Vivekananda Kendra mission, this is what is happening. We have to save Arunachal Pradesh. Otherwise it will go out of India. Then we started sending our life workers. In Vivekananda Kendra we had a scheme. All those who want to completely dedicate themselves for the country, young people we want, and they should be minimum graduates. They should not be less than 18 years. And they will devote themselves completely for the work of the country. Such people we want. And we had many people who came, because in our country we have very good people. And we selected them. And we told them the difficulties things. You don't get a salary. Only we'll take care of your food and clothing and other things. That's all. Travel. So they all came and we had to train them. 6 months intensive training in yoga, adhyatma, everything. And the most important, when we approach them to Arunachal Pradesh, there is nobody. You have to be completely, to yourself. You have to cook yourself and do this. And we posted the first group of 7 people in different places. One of the most difficult places is called Anili. In Anili, you have to go a long way. And the person who was posted was from Haryana, very strong man. And he said, I'm going to go there. And he has to walk. How long? It is not calculated in terms of kilometers or miles. How many days walk? It was 21 days walk to reach that place. You have to go to Dibrugarh, from there you go further, and then from there you walk, because the buses will stop there on low road. So some tribal people will be there to direct them. And after going there and coming back, after 5 months we had a meeting in Shillong. So he had come, he was telling his experience. He started, and then they have gone for about 3 days, and then there was heavy rain. What to do? They stayed in a basti, and the rain went on for 3 days, incessant rain. Then after rain stopped, they started moving. And after going a while, there was a big stream of water flowing, very deep water. How to cross the place? Again they have to wait until the water will subside. 5 days. After that, slowly they went down and then got up to this thing and started moving. And there were leeches, it started to sting them. And the tribers knew what to do when the leeches suck you. Salt you have to do, and then see that. And by the time he reached, it was 35 days. And when he went there, what is the school? It was just a bamboo hutment like this. Then where are the students? They had to go. And he did not know any language. He has to go there, learn their language, and operate very, very carefully. Otherwise, these people will become very emotional and then hit you and then even kill you. He said, every day I used to sleep in the night. I was not sure I am going to be awake, alive. Because a lot of elephants used to come. If the elephants come, we got. There were lions, there were tigers. That was the condition. And what about the food? The government had made arrangements. Every week once the helicopter comes and then brings the food. And there is no refrigerator, you keep there. Sometimes it will happen that there is a lot of wind and lot of rain and the helicopter could not come. No radio, no TV. Imagine the situation. How difficult was that? And it's all because of the yoga. They learnt. Every day they used to do practice of asana, pranayama. They said, we have a lot of time. Therefore, we'll read the books and we have Jnana Yoga, Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, everything we are going to do. So they had plenty of time. Because just like here, 5 to 10, we had trained them and they would do this. Other people did not know this, therefore they used to get mad because isolation, alone, how they can store. So they did this thing and slowly they brought the children and brought them with lot of love and affection, and the children started growing. Then how to bring them to the highest heights, So we started developing special yoga modules. We experimented. In Kanyakumari, when we were there, then in a nearby school, we said we are going to introduce yoga. Everybody was very, very happy. Wonderful, wonderful, we will all come. And we had 800 people who came for the yoga. So we were very happy. But gradually we found the number reduced 800 to 80, 80 to 8%, 3%. We thought, why? Because we are teaching them asana, we are teaching them pranayama, we are teaching little meditation, everything. Why they are not coming? Then we had a brainstorm. We have to make it very interesting to the students. What is to be done? Also, what is the objective? Total personality development. Physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, with a spiritual basis. And we have to bring in them the service and patriotism and the spiritual urge and civic sense. Everything has to be fourfold consciousness, fourfold development. And then we started doing that. So sattva is total sacrifice, selflessness, and total personality development should come. What is to be done? We had psychologists, child psychiatrists, and we had psychologists, and we had educationalists, all people we sat together and developed the modules. In class 1, when they are only 6 years old, what is to be done for children like this? The first thing they said is, you have to develop your eyesight improvement. Then the voice culture, the hearing development, then the memory development, physical stamina development, IQ development, creativity development. Like that we developed 10 modules. And we started adopting that. And when you do that, what is the proof that is going to improve? Memory. When you say memory module is there, how do you know that memory is increasing? We did research, and we have seen that within 10 days, the children will improve their memory wonderfully. How much? We measured. The audio memory increased by 25%. The visual memory increased by 22%. Audio visual memory 18%. Short range memory 13%. Long range memory 9%. Within 10 days. When you do for the whole year, wonderful memory. So here we started adopting our Sriparna, teaches these children, and they all learn memory and Bhagavad Gita. There are some children, already they have by hearted about 8 chapters. And some of our people, Sriparna herself knows the whole Bhagavad Gita by heart. Memory started developing in the children. Their pronunciation developed. And they started becoming beautiful flowers. And in the 10th class, that was the test. How many people are going to pass? 100% pass. 60% people got first class. And they got the ranks in the whole state. So the government was very happy. This is wonderful, wonderful. They said, you have done for the residential course. But now it has to be done in the non-residential mode if you want to scale up to the whole country. So then we started the non-residential program, Kanyakumari, here in Jigni and Andaman Nicobar. And we have been able to see the results will come as good only when you have good teachers. So teacher training program is started. And when we show the result, the government said, okay, now in government schools you have to bring. So what do you do? We said teachers training. How long? 1 month. So the government started sending and we started training in the yoga teachers training course for 1 month. And in which we trained them how to introduce this yoga in various things. Eyesight improvement, voice, all the 10 components we started developing. And the government schools started improving continuously. Then private schools came forward. So like that by 1992, we had trained about 66,000 teachers all over the country, in every state, showing how Swami Vivekananda's vision can be translated into action. Then the UGC came forward and said, okay, now it has to be taken to the higher level. So in the universities, why don't you introduce yoga? They gave the money to the university campuses, they set up the yoga halls, and we started bringing yoga. So what yoga we had to bring at the higher education? We started developing the modules for them. And it was optional. Whoever wants to come, they can come. Parents can come and teachers can come, students can come. They all started coming, they started enjoying. Therefore the feedback was very good. In 3 years they said, yes, yoga has to be brought into higher education. This is how it started, all that. So in the whole education field, yoga started coming wonderfully well. But the biggest boost came when our Prime Minister brought the International Day of Yoga. June 21st, all over the world. And it was such an amazing thing. When he gave the talk, then he said that, I suggest that the UNO should accept June 21st as the International Day of Yoga. 183 countries, supported this. And 45 Islamic countries sponsored his thing. And first time in the history of UNO, the June 21st was taken as an International Day of Yoga, approved. Otherwise, it has to go through the whole process of bringing it to the agenda, it has to go to the meeting, they have put on the votes and all these things. It normally takes 6 months to 9 months. But in one single talk, the Prime Minister was able to bring. And that gave such a big boost to yoga all over the world. And even all Islamic countries and Christian countries, everywhere, who used to say, no, yoga is religious, we should not take. Everybody accepted. Now it has become a universal thing. Understanding that yoga is a science for total personality development. And therefore everybody has started adopting that. And what type of yoga? Jnana Yoga, Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, all these 4 dimensions. That's the great contribution of Swami Vivekananda. So this is what we had to bring. So on this day when you are completing your YIC, you have been trained for these 4 streams of yoga. And when you are going to go home, when you are going to start, you should see that every one of you should teach more and more people. And bring more and more people to our International Day of Yoga this year. 2020 June 21st, all over the country, we have to reach every nook and corner. This year, 2019, we had this target. We wanted 30 crores of people to practice on International Day of Yoga throughout the country. This year, we have the target. We have the target of 50 crores of people. In our country, we have 6.5 lakh villages. How many people we had to do that? 50 crores of people. So the government is very keen on that. Every ministry have come forward. Yes, we want to do this thing. In cities, in villages, everywhere we have to do that. So we all play a very important role. Each one of you should train at least 100 people, if not 1,000 or 2,000 people. And that is going to be our goal. And what you have to teach? That 35 minutes yoga protocol. This 35 minutes yoga protocol has been developed by combination of all the yoga institutions. And this is a very intelligently made protocol. Because if you study that, you have to find out what is the Jnana Yoga, Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga component that have been embedded into this 35 minutes protocol. This is what first you have to understand and get the subtleties. Then this has to be brought forth in the things. So in the mornings and the evenings, you should see that more and more people do that. So in the cities, in the districts, in the villages, wherever you have the contact, you should have more. And we have made it very flexible. It can be in the groups, it can be in your yoga studios, it can be in the houses. All family people can do that. All TV and everything is going to come up. And even in the small classes, we can do that. And this is how you have to do. Therefore, you have to do the practice minimum of this 35 minutes protocol on a regular basis and understand and go deeper and deeper in these things. On this very nice auspicious day where you had the Saraswati Homa, you have invoked the blessings of Ma Saraswati, which will give all the knowledge under this, and we should continuously grow further in doing this thing. And I am glad that many of you completing YIC are going to take up to the next thing, PGDYT, PGDYTD, then MSc and others, and you are most welcome to join so that there is a continuity for your growth. And this is what is going to happen. And you see that this is the target we keep, and see that we assist the government, the India, to see that we reach our target of 50 crores of people to practice. That's how it has to be spread. And in the education system, every regulatory body have accepted. You know, for the pre-primary, before the primary, we have got LKG, UKG and all that. There are what are called teacher educators in the country. So NCT, National Council of Teacher Educators, they train 13.5 lakh teacher educators every year. And yoga has been made compulsory. That was the biggest challenge, because there was a lot of resistance to this. People said, no, we don't want yoga because yoga is religious and it is Hindu and all sorts of things. Many people had tremendous amount of resistance. But the Supreme Court ultimately ruled, no, yoga is a science. It is a science for total well-being. It is a man-making education that Swami Vivekananda has given, and we had to bring that thing. And therefore it was ruled, and therefore it went into the syllabus of the teacher educators. Then came to the primary, middle school, high school by the NCRT, then came to the UGC, and we have made syllabus for all these things. And that is the grand thing that has happened in the country to bring yoga into education system. So let us invoke the blessings of Saraswati again. Let us contemplate, sit straight, eyes closed. Let us pray to Ma Saraswati that yoga should go into every nook and corner, every village, every school. Everybody should start practicing yoga in its holistic vision, karma yoga, to bring sattva into action, giving, sharing, selflessness brought forth. Make a resolve, yes, we are going to devote ourselves to this grand vision that our Prime Minister has given, which will raise India to the greatest heights and give direction to the whole world, to develop the whole world into a single family. That's the goal. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That's the goal of Karma Yoga. Come to Namaskar Mudra. Asato ma sattamaya namaso